I'm sure that you've heard before the saying that says, fail to plan and you plan to fail. So yes, we need a plan when you're in business. Plans are really important, but I firmly believe we shouldn't be spending too much time on the planning because it actually can work against you. So today's episode, I'm sharing with you my super simple one-page planning process so that you can have a plan that actually works for you and is super easy to use and doesn't take you much time at all. So stay tuned, it's coming right up.
Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and over the last 25 years in marketing and business, I've helped many brands to launch, scale, and grow, with some of them becoming multi-billion-dollar companies. I'm here to inspire you to get out of your own way and create a profitable, fulfilling business while living the lifestyle you really desire, without all the hustle. So I bring you She's the Business podcast, a unique blend of strategies, tactics, mindset, health, and spirituality, literally everything you need to be the successful leader of your dream business. Made by women for women, this is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration.
Today's episode is the third episode in a series that I've been doing over the last month or so, since December, where I'm just setting you up for a really great year ahead in 2025. And in the past two solo episodes that I've shared with you has been really setting the groundwork, laying the foundations, getting your perspective set in the right place, some essential steps to take before you actually create your plan. And today's episode is the final piece, the actual plan. What are you going to do in 2025? How are you going to hit those goals that you've set? You know, the vision, the dream, whatever it is that you want to achieve this year for your business. Today's the day we're going to talk about creating the plan to help you actually achieve that result. Now, before we dive into the actual plan and what it is, because I'm going to share with you my very super simple one-page planning process that sticks it all just on a single page. So you can print it out, put it up on your wall, be able to refer to it whenever. And I'm going to take you through a bit of that process, what's in it, so that you can create your own one. But before we do that, let's just make sure that we're all on the same page as to why this is so important and why I'm recommending a one-page plan instead of your standard business plan that you may get from, business websites. Even government business support hubs have templates, they have documents, they've got what I call old style plans that they would provide to you and say, well, this is what your plan for your business should include. And when I tell you, gosh, I spent years and years and years doing those sort of plans. So back in my corporate days, 20 years of them, I did a lot of plans in that time. I headed up marketing departments for publicly listed companies. And when you're publicly listed, there's a certain amount of documentation that you need to provide. You need to be ticking the boxes on what's required, but there's also not a lot of innovation happening in that space. So it's very much like, wow, we're stuck back in the dark ages in terms of the plans and what they need to include. And I'd actually say, when I look back, a lot of the time people are stuffing these plans full of detail to make them seem like weightier documents, like, oh, look how important and intelligent I am because I've put so much information into this plan. And so it became the norm and the thing to have all of this detail in there. Every cent of the budget was mapped down to an activity. It was allocated against it, and you needed to have that in order to have the budget signed off. But what that did, instead of empowering the team to go ahead and, have this budget and spend it wisely, it actually hamstrung the team, really hamstrung the growth of the business, because everything was so mapped out and trenched in and locked in that you couldn't adapt or adjust to the changing landscape. And I noticed it particularly in the more recent years, and this has only accelerated since I left that space. So in 2017 was the last time, that was when I left. And, the growth, the amount of change in our world and the environment has accelerated since then. So your plan, in order for it to serve you, in order for it to be not just a document of ticking a box, but actually something that guides you throughout the year so that you hit your goals, you know what you need to be doing in order to hit your goals. You've got an easy sheet to measure your metrics against and know straight away whether you're on target or not. Like, okay, is this working? Do we need to change something? Do we need to adjust something? Let's not wait till the end of the year, do the stats and go, oh, well, we didn't hit our goals this year. Let's figure out why. No, you should know that already. You could be knowing that every month if you choose to keep track of your key stats every month. And it's not a lot. There's only a few key metrics that you need to be on top of and knowing what they are so that you are very well informed and you can make some decisions, adapt and adjust as you go. And the style of plan that I'm going to share with you in this episode actually allows you to make those sort of decisions without having to go back and change the plan. You can use the plan. The plan gives you that power, the ability to be flexible, the ability to take an opportunity that appears in front of you and say, wow, that's great. That is very aligned. That fits with the goal, that fits within the plan, what we're going to do. I would love to do that. And you can just decide to do it. What used to happen was there was so much detail in the plan, so much structure locked in, that anything that would come along, if you decided to do it, if you were like, yes, let's take this opportunity, you actually had to then go in and adjust everything else to make it fit again, to make all the numbers add up, to make it work. And that is not a great use of your time. I do not think you should be spending more than an hour, a couple of hours max on your plan for the entire year. And if you do it right, you really shouldn't have to spend more than maybe a minute here or there making adjustments. You know, this type of plan is a guideline. It gives you the overall roadmap. It's very strategic. It's very high level because it allows you to manage the detail on a much more localized basis, on a basis that really just gives you that empowerment, the flexibility that you need when you're running a business, especially online and especially in today's climate. In 2025, change is the only thing that is constant. So I'm sure you know that already. I'm sure you're already on board with me, but I thought it was important to state why this isn't your traditional corporate plan. Why is it so different? It's because I want to give you a tool that is useful and it's not just ticking the box exercise. What use is it to have a plan that you create, you spend hours and hours and hours, or maybe even a week doing, and then it sits in your file, you never open it again because it's pointless. That is not a good use of your time. What is a good use of your time is going, I need a few key numbers, a few things in this plan. I can actually put it on one page. It's so simple, and I can have it on the wall to refer to at any time. That is just beautiful. What a breath of fresh air. And it makes it exciting, easy, and it means that you can use your precious time on the stuff that really matters. You know now what it is. It's a one-pager. It's a plan. We're going to stick it on our wall, and it's a guideline. So what is actually in it? What do you actually need in your one-page plan? And yeah, there's a lot you don't need. So if you're running a business where it is primarily you've got a very small team, you know, your plan for your year, your page should not need to include all the targeting, the background info, the SWOT analysis, all of that stuff. Like, I'm not saying that you don't need it. You already know it. You should have it. That doesn't need to go on your one-page plan. That's some things that you should, you know, I guess are always working documents, right? Where you're like, who is my target? What do I know about them? Though that kind of documentation is really more like a living, breathing resource that you should be updating regularly whenever you get new insights, whenever you're like, oh, I really understand what it is that they want, or what a main objection that they have is that's causing them not to buy. Now I understand that. I'm going to put that in, and then we can develop some messaging to help mitigate that. You know, that is for me your strategic foundational kind of documentation that it's just a living, breathing thing. You should be adding to it whenever, so should your team if you have team members. You know, that's really part of your supporting documentation that you have that you will use regularly. So it doesn't need to go in this plan. You already know that. You've got it there. You know what's happening. So what does go in is this mostly numbers. So that's why it doesn't need to be very big. It's like goes up on one wall. You only need a few numbers. What it is that you need to know is what is your revenue target for the year? Okay, you set a number, and make one up. If you don't have one today, you should have one. You need to know what is your target. Set a goal. I always tell my Business Jam clients to make sure that you're not setting something that you absolutely know you're going to hit. What is the point of having a goal if you already know that you can hit it? That means that you're going to be staying in the same place that you are in right now. If you want your business to grow, you want your business to expand in terms of higher revenue, higher profit, then you need to be setting a goal that's outside of what you could currently do. The reason why you do that is so that you stretch a little bit. You do something different, but you are reaching for the goal. Whether you hit it or not doesn't really matter. We're going to build the plan so that that is the plan to help you hit that goal. If you don't, you're no doubt going to have actually created a bigger result than if you today set a target you know you can achieve. So I encourage you to always be thinking to stretch yourself, set those goals that is outside of where you currently think that you could hit. So you're going to start with the end in mind. That is the ultimate goal. That is the destination. That's the goalpost. Now we're going to build the plan to get there. And very simply, working backwards from that, when you know what your main offering is, you also can figure out how many clients do you need to bring on board this year in order to hit that revenue target. Really simple, right? So working back from there, we go into your sales system, if that's discovery calls, if it's an event, a webinar, whatever it might be that you do, you would know, okay, how many people convert from that sales activity. That gives you the number of leads that you need to have in your plan. From there, you know how many people opt in for those things based on your activity. So again, you do need to either know your percentages, which aren't hard to figure out if you've already got the data in place, or you can take a guess and you can put in there some what we would call industry general standards. So you can guess to begin with. And then as you're going through by the end of the first quarter and you've got some data, some real data to compare, you can adjust those based on a more like-for-like basis, what your actual conversion rates are. When you're working back and you know your conversion rate, you can use those numbers and a simple math equation to figure out, okay, so how many leads do I need to get the number of clients? How many people in my audience do I need to be putting this in front of in order to generate that amount of leads, in order to generate that amount of clients? Very simple, right? It is just that math. And so when you know how many people you need to reach in order to generate the leads, in order to generate the clients, now you're creating the plan of how you're going to reach that amount of people. So it's really, really easy. Ideally, your business would have a primary audience building platform. You're going to have a place where you're putting most of your energy and effort into creating an audience, providing them with a form of lead magnet, a way to engage, a way to put their hand up and become a lead, and from there, a way for them to then become a client. Now, this is going to differ from business to business. There is no one single best way to do it. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it, right? But people are doing all sorts of different things. Why? Because it's about aligning those activities to the offer that you're selling. The activities that you're doing, the type of lead magnet and the offer should all be in sync. There would be absolutely no point, for example, doing one-to-one sales calls if you're selling coaching sessions that are less than $100 a time, because one-to-one sales calls are highly time intensive, and the amount of time that that's taking you to make that sale that's worth so little is just not of value. So your sales method for a low ticket offer like that would be something that allows you to have a higher volume of people. And that's really, what we're doing. We're applying a bit of common sense, we're applying some logic, and we're making sure that your activities and the numbers are all stacking up, they're aligned, and this is going to work for you. So super simple, right? Once you have that, you know how many people you need to reach throughout the whole year in order to hit your annual target. And then I usually advise, and this is in my one-page planning document, that I'm actually going to give you guys I'm going to give it to you. Why not? I will give you the one-page planning template that my Business Jam clients use. So I've set that up on a page. You can pop your details in and you'll get a copy of it sent to you so that you can use this for yourself. So to get your copy of my one-page plan, head to jessicaosborne.com/OPP. I will have linked that up in the show notes for you below. You can pop your details in and get sent your very own copy of the plan and a quick video from me, just sort of giving you a bit more detail on how to fill it in. But what I was saying was, we break it down per quarter. So when you start breaking it down per quarter, those numbers start to look a lot more achievable and doable. So don't worry if at first it's like, whoa, I didn't realize I needed to reach so many people in order to make that revenue target. Well, it can start off feeling like that, but when you break it down per quarter, it's going to start feeling a lot more manageable. Now, we do it by quarter because really, that is how you're planning your activity. What are you doing in that quarter that will help you to achieve that reach target, your lead target, and your client sales goals? It should ideally be one primary activity. Now, it might be the same one that you do throughout the year, the same one for each quarter, or you might have the type of business where you do, a big launch once a year. And so one of those quarters is going to be very different to your other ones, but you should still have an activity in each of the other ones. So this is where you get to really design the business to work for you the way you want it to work, and also to make sure that your numbers are stacking up. The math is mathing. You are going to, if you do this activity and you reach the target of the people who you need to have your offers in front of, that it's going to convert through to the number of clients you need to hit your revenue goal. Now, of course, once you start putting this in, some of the things that my Business Jam students find is like, oh, I didn't realize I was going to need so many clients in order to hit my revenue goals. And that's great. If that's something you discover, then it means that we need to have a look at your offers. If it's not looking viable, if it's like, I'm going to have to do 100 sales calls a month in order to get those clients, and then I wouldn't have any time to serve them, well, clearly your offer isn't the right offer for your revenue goals. It's not stacking up, it's not going to work. So that is really simple. Then you know what you need to quickly look at and adjust in terms of your strategy. Are we targeting the right people? Have we got the right offer for them? Is it going to bring you the revenue and profit that you need to hit your goals? And is it doable in the amount of time you have? These are, the cornerstone pieces of what we cover inside Business Jam, really helping you align that. But, you can do this as well yourself. It is a lot of logic and common sense, but it's so important to have designed the right offer at the right price to enable you to hit those goals. And if you've done this process right, it should start looking really easy once you've broken it down into those quarterly targets. Now, that's it. You're going to have your main activity per quarter. You know what your quarterly numbers are because they are the breakdown of your annual number. You stick it up on your wall, and you also can really quickly do a check to see if you're on track per each quarter. So not even a quarter would go by before you can go, whoa, we're not even close to that. Something needs to change. So you might be looking at changing your offer, your pricing, and who you're targeting. You may just be looking at changing your activities. That activity is not generating the number of leads that we need, so I need to do something else. There's a couple of different ways that you can pull those levers and change what you're doing so that you do hit the numbers. Now, how simple does that sound, really? It's not a lot and it's not many numbers. It's actually the numbers that give you clarity on what it is that you should be doing, how to pick the right marketing activity, because you know how many people you need to be reaching in order to generate the outcome. And it's beautiful. I love it. I am not really a massive numbers person, but I love the simplicity of having just those few numbers, having them up on the wall, and being really able to track against that quickly. Now, you could have a VA be doing your analytics and the numbers and providing the few numbers that you need in an email or in a dashboard to you every month. You could be keeping track of those. All your online systems will provide you the data that you need. It's so simple and easy to get that data. It's really, if you're not already doing that, then I'd say, hey, make this a commitment, an intention for you in 2025 that you're just going to get a handle on those key metrics for your business so that you can actually do the plan and the activities that are going to help you hit the goal. What I see so many people who don't have this kind of plan, who've got fluffy plans that are full of like our brand and our message and our tagline and who we're targeting, and not the actual, the goals that they need to be hitting, the numbers they need to be hitting. If you've got the fluffy stuff, then you're just flying blind. You're doing all this activity and then going, well, why aren't we succeeding? It's because you don't know what the activity is that you should be doing. And you don't know whether it's working for you or not, because you're probably basing your assessment on whether it's working or not on some metrics that don't matter. Vanity metrics like, oh, our post engagement's getting this many percentage of people engaging with it. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. If it's not turning into leads, then it's useless. So it's about, getting really clear and really focused, laser focused on the stuff that matters and just ignoring the stuff that doesn't, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of opinions out there about how do you know if your Instagram's working, and people talking about it going viral. It's like, it doesn't matter. If your post has been seen by 1 million people and not a single one of them have opted in for your lead magnet, it does not matter that it was seen by 1 million people. That is doing nothing for you. You need the right people to be seeing it, to be then opting in, to become a lead so that you can convert them into clients. And if you're not doing that right now, then it's because we're focusing on the wrong things. So that's my pep talk over, my little rant. Please go and download my plan. This is the template that my Business Jam clients get, that we go through in our planning workshops. And, I really help them to get the right numbers for their business. But I'm providing it for you guys, my podcast listeners. Thank you so much for being here, for listening and tuning into She's a Business podcast. So it's my gift to you to start you off on your year in 2025, really starting it off with that level of clarity that you need. So head to, again, jessicaosborne.com/OPP for one-page plan. So just the letters there for that one, the acronym, and you can get your copy sent to you for your plan. And I'd love to hear how you get on. Get in touch, let me know. Say, hey, I listened to your episode, downloaded the plan. Maybe you got stuck somewhere. Maybe you had an amazing insight, or maybe it's just been like, this is brilliant, love it. I want to hear from you. I really want to hear how you get on with it, because it is simple, it is easy, and it doesn't take you long to do. If it's taking you more than an hour, it's probably just because you don't have the data and the stats to hand. But once you've got them, and you're tracking them, next time you do it, it'll be way, way, way faster. So it is absolutely worth that investment of time from you to do it. Good luck, and I will be back again next week with a beautiful guest interview, bringing you some different perspectives, some strategies, and all sorts of great value from their area of expertise. And again, I'll see you, just you and me, back in episode 230. So chat soon. Bye.